everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Reviews, and we're back talking about the new season of Ozark. We're on season 3 of Ozark. This show started in 2017 and has been gradually, to me, I've been enjoying it as it goes along. I know some people lately I've been seeing a lot of people talk about how they didn't like season 2 that much. I myself will admit that season 2, after the events of season 1, it was a little hard to live up to, but I think they did a really good job. I like that they actually kind of tied a lot of stories together, finished off some characters, like really had stakes going. Things like Petty, I really thought could go on for a really long time. Other things were cliche, just like there's some cliches here in season 3 as well. It didn't take away from the overall enjoyment of watching it, even though I knew where certain things were going to go. Just like as in season 2 with Ruth's dad, you knew how that was going to end, pretty much. From the moment that you knew that this guy would be getting out, you knew that it was only so long before somebody fucking killed this guy. That is the case of the brother character here in season 3. And like I said at the warning at the beginning, full spoilers if you have not seen all of season 3. His was the most cliched storyline because even though I really enjoyed having this actor here, Tom Pelphrey, who was on Iron Fist. Now, while Iron Fist was not regarded very well, I actually really liked the actor who played one of the main characters in Iron Fist. I can't even remember his character's name. That's how unimportant and unmemorable that show really is. But I really liked him as an actor, and he's really great as Ben Davis, a guy who's clearly got some mental issues that can only be managed by medication, whether it's bipolar or schizophrenia, that kind of thing. But as soon as you find out that this guy's coming to town, and he's good, and he's not looking for money and things like that, but he's going to stick around, you know that the writing is already on the wall. As soon as you say mental illness, brother character, I'm coming to stay and stick around, his days are numbered. And so I knew he was going to die by the end of the season. Question was how, and the journey to how was a very interesting one. So they took that cliche and they kind of did something interesting with it, because most of that, I really have to believe, does come from the actor giving that performance, because it is the usual, I guess I shouldn't say it's too unique, pretty usual. He's fine, he's fucking up, it gets worse, it snowballs, he dies. And everybody, and it's about basically less about him and more about our other characters' reaction to how they were allowed, how they got to this point, and the fact that they now have to kill this big person in their lives, whether it's Ruth and her and him being lovers, or Marty and holy shit, did I really forget her fucking name? Marty and Wendy, being related. Wendy knowing him, her brother her whole life, having to make that sacrifice. Seeing those repercussions were the major part of the decision to bring in this character, have him do all these things, have the emotional roller coaster that everybody around him goes through as you kill him, making the drama for later seasons, more palpable. So that actor had to do a lot with a pretty cliched story, and he did a really brilliant job. He did a really, really good job with the cliched writing they gave him. That also being said, everybody in this, again, is on point. Everybody's acting is really good. I feel like Jason Bateman is even more subdued in season 3 than, hang on one second. Sorry about that, everybody. That little blip there was me having to make sure that the audio was working. One of the other cool things I kept wondering about was that I actually kind of feel like I bear a slight resemblance to how Ben Davis looks. Especially with the beard and everything. It's man, it's like looking in a mirror. Not really. That guy's a good looking dude. So yeah, going in about the acting, I feel like Jason Bateman is even more subdued in this and more internalizing a lot more. There's a very, if you notice, I feel like he doesn't have a lot of dialogue in this season. Compared to Laura Linney, who's Heisenberging the fuck out of this season. Like, as far as Marty getting the plan for them to get the hell out of there, and he has it, for her to then turn and say, no, we're going to keep going with this, is like a huge part of the conflict that starts this season out. Because I kind of feel like Marty and Wendy are kind of the, like, you take Walter White as a character, and Marty is the Walter White, and Laura Linney's character is more of the Heisenberg in this season, where Marty's smart, he knows his job really well, just like Walter knew chemistry, and he's the brains, he's got the ideas, he's got the plans, he doesn't say much, he is quiet like the Walter White from the school. While Laura Linney has done the turn, where she's seen the power, she's done the work, she's gotten where she wants to be. Now that they got a chance to get out, when she sees that escape, she sees it as, to me, walking away from everything they just built. All the work they just put in, even though all of it should be just to get them out from under, she, I don't think she can help herself. I think this is part of her personality. Is a big part of this is, like how she was working with the guy trying to get the casino. Like, this is her atmosphere, partying, or not partying, but moving and shaking and getting deals done. And for her to walk away now, it just causes so many problems when she decides to use Helen Pierce, their attorney, she's like, if Better Call Saul, like if Jimmy, like Saul Goodman was straight up evil, like straight up bad. Like, you can say that, oh, she's doing a lot to like defend her daughter and protect her daughter, but she is one cold-blooded lady. And where is she? Janet McTeer. I think she played Jessica Jones's mom, right? I believe. And she is amazing on this. As just this duplicitous, working for the, she's the lawyer for the cartel. She's got the Navarro guy's ear. She's got all that power. She's got like all this autonomy and can move behind the scenes. She's got the confidence. She's got the charm. She's got the deadliness. She should definitely be nominated. I'm telling you, for like Emmys. If she wasn't already for last year, she should be for this year. All the things that she's capable of doing, yet still maintaining that whole family aspect of her children and keeping them out of it. It's just, and then making moves behind the birds' backs, constantly playing all sides against each other. Whether Marty is trying to get one over on Wendy, and Wendy's trying to get one over on Marty, and Helen trying to get one over on both of them, while both like trying to sound like they're both each other's cheerleaders. She's so fucking amazing. Like I said, Tom Pelphrey is great. Julia Garner continues to shine as Ruth Langmore. This girl really, really has a future as an actress. Like, she's been in a few things already, and now that this show's pretty much successful, she's beginning to be recognizable. She's so adorable. I love that hair. I know that has nothing to do with anything, but the only thing that I still say about her performances is this, and I've been saying it since like day one, is that she always looks like she's 1 second away from crying. Doesn't matter what the scene is, she always looks like she's about to just break and cry. And I don't know if that's just her face or what, or the performance she's trying to put out as someone who's always like 1 second away from cracking. If that's what she's going for, then she's even better than I'm saying right now. Because if she's able to maintain that kind of performance where she just always looks like she's going to just bawl, even when she's kicking somebody's ass, that's the thing. But she's amazing. And what she goes through in this, though, I feel like the story kind of takes a step backwards for her, where she ends up with Darlene and Wyatt. Now, let's talk about Darlene and Wyatt, who, again, I'm not as fond of Charlie Tahan's performance as Wyatt as I am with Darlene, played by Lisa Emery, who is just so She reminds me of like one of the characters from Resident Evil 7, except without the fucking virus running through her veins. I don't think she needs a virus to run through her veins. She's crazy and dangerous, and she kind of becomes a wild card here. There is a very unnecessary sex scene in this. I don't know why they put it in here. I know I'm not the only one to talk about it. It was just, part of me goes, good on you for showing senior citizen on young man sex. The other part of me goes, that's disgusting. And I kept praying, please God, don't show any body parts. Don't show any areolas. Don't show any butt cheeks. I don't want anything to do with that. But her story with the kid, like, they never got that resolved, did they? She still got the baby. But their whole storyline and how they get Ruth on board after the death of the brother, kind of getting all the hillbillies and the folk together on the same side. Like, we're from here, we're going to start our own thing. So that's going on. The sheriff at least isn't a part of it anymore. But now they're working with the Cosgroves because Marty had his problem with him. That's a part of the story that I feel got a little underdeveloped because Frank Cosgrove Jr. was this foil for Ruth. But then he just gets his cock blown off and that ends it. Except it was just kind of like a plot device to drive Ruth further away from Marty and Wendy. I think they needed to get there by the end of the season, and that's what they used to help nudge her in that direction. The beating that she took that they didn't avenge. Which I do feel like they should have done something about it. I feel like that was a problem with the story, that they didn't protect her like they claimed to care. Even though they do, Ruth also has points saying if this was your daughter, that we wouldn't even be having this conversation. They'd just be dead. Who else do we have? And Joseph Sikora, who plays Frank Cosgrove Jr., did a pretty good job as he just had to be a dickhead. Another thing that was a little disappointing was the role of the kids. Charlotte and Jonah really felt sidelined to me, really felt like they didn't get much to do except be the babysitter for Helen's daughter Erin, that they're supposed to keep away from all the business, and that becomes a little bit of a problem later on. But that's all they really get to do. I mean, Jonah is an interesting character. He's very smart. And Charlotte is too, but they both just didn't give them much to do this year. Navarro, Felix Solis as Navarro is a pretty nice villain who could be deadly from afar, could be scary from afar and up close. The whole stuff with Marty going to Mexico and how that changed him was a really great episode. I liked how he bought the arcade game that he had he played when he was a kid. I also liked the whole thing about Navarro telling Wendy, "You're lucky that you have a husband like me. He wants to win." Marty may not have much going on facially, but the gears are always turning. And I can't say how great I really liked their back and forth against each other, even in therapy, where they were, bribing their therapist to pick sides. I thought that therapist was really funny too. Sue Shelby, Billy, played by Mary Louise Burke, who goes a little too far, asking for a little too much, and ends up paying for it with her life. I like that they didn't even have to show it. That she's in the room with this really deadly guy, and the same thing happens with Ben, where we see the guy approaching him, but we don't see the murder. We just know that things didn't work well for him. And so by the end of this season, we don't know that Helen has gone behind Marty's back, because there's this whole FBI thing that, again, to me, that story kind of just kept coming back, and I just kept kind of going, really wasn't that into it. Just like in the story itself, they just never could quite make progress getting the character of the FBI agent one way or another on their side. it just kind of felt stalled the whole time. So it's easy to almost overlook that character to me, even though I like the actress. Let's bring her up. Let's talk about her, like, so I don't leave her out. I sometimes do that when I'm heavily into what I'm talking about. I don't see her on here. Well, whoever the FBI agent was, I wish that they had her on here. That's really irritating. But she was great, but she, Helen went behind their back, saying that Marty's going to take a deal, gets it so far as signed. Marty doesn't find that out until they're on the plane, basically, that Helen's setting them up with Navarro. But Helen doesn't, I don't think, understands that Marty and Wendy used some convenient drone footage of the attack on their own truck to show that a rival gang from Mexico was killing U.S. citizens on U.S. soil, which lets the FBI send in troops to fight the war that Navarro's losing. So showing that Wendy and Marty just helped Navarro win his war. What has Helen done but just kind of connive behind their backs, cover her own ass? She's got her daughter that's constantly, almost finding out things. And now Navarro knows that they are willing to kill their own family members to protect what they're doing. And Helen, in the same situation, doesn't. And I think that was one of the reasons why ultimately at the end of the episode of the series finale, or the show's season finale, she gets her brains blown out all over them, and Navarro talking about it's a beginning. I don't know where they're going to go with this after this. We know that Ruth is with Darlene, and they're going to be causing their own problems with their heroin stuff. You got the Cosgroves in there. You got the Navarro cartel. We got the people with the gaming license and the FBI still running around. I'm kind of hoping that next year is the last year. I kind of want this show to not have like a 10-year shelf life. I like the direction they're going, and I feel like if next year, hopefully, they can put this whole thing together for a nice, convenient, fitting, and satisfying ending. Otherwise, besides my few complaints that I had, and I'm sure that there's plenty more that I could talk about for this season, it was really good. These are 58, 59, 1 hour long episodes, densely packed, and I still was clipping through them. It felt like I was clipping through them like at a really fast pace. The music, the cinematography, the acting, the directing, everything is all still here. There's, like I said, there's some cliches that kind of bring it down, but that a little bit. There's a few storylines that I just didn't really care about, but overall, like as far as production and acting and all that stuff, like it rises above. So some of the lows always rise above, in the end, the overall experience. And Jason Bateman is proven, like with The Outsider, that he's a great director, not just a great actor. And everybody involved in this show deserves a lot of praise. And hopefully, come Emmy time, they start getting more recognized. I think they've had a few mentions, but I don't know how many they've actually won. And I think with Game of Thrones fucking out of here finally, maybe shows that actually deserve to win will start getting some more attention from the Emmys and the other awards that really don't mean anything, but it's nice to see good shows win things like Better Call Saul, which also should win a lot of stuff. So anyway, pretty good season. Not the best thing I've ever seen, but it's the best thing I've seen on Netflix in a little while. And no, I'm not counting that Tiger show because I really wasn't feeling it. But anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. You can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. Otherwise, this is Rob saying have a great night, and we will see you on the next video. Oh, and also, this does count as my first show I'm reviewing for 420, because I was under the influence for every episode. So it counts. So have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.